Hello and welcome to the Reetin Entertainment Podcast, episode 379 for December 11th, 2022. My name is Nathan Reetin Spruth. Joining me this week, we have Andrew Roa McFain.
It's me again.
And that's it. Connor is sick. He often gets sick at this time of year because one of his lungs is bad, as mentioned previously in a lot of other podcasts. So we hope that he recovers well. But where can we find you, Aroa?
You can, of course, go to aroa.website. One of those links that Connor would like to draw your attention to is Clinton's Core Classics and Actual Play something podcast something. I don't know. It's like tabletop games.
Pathfinder First Edition.
Yeah, actual play whatever
podcast.
That means. I don't know what that means.
It means because they come out with different editions. So like they just came out with Pathfinder 2. Well, just came out, but they came out with Pathfinder 2.0, and we're playing 1.0.
No, what is actual play?
Oh, it's not scripted, I think is what that means.
Oh, that's a thing?
I believe. Well, yeah, because like if you look at Critical Role or something, that's totally scripted. At least part of it is scripted.
What?
Yeah.
Are you saying those wacky things that happen with them, somebody planned aspects of that?
Yes, I am 100% saying that. I'm not saying that it's all 100% scripted, but I would say that it would make sense for a game of that style with those people for it to have a plot or a narrative that they want to put into the game. So it's not 100% actual play.
That seems I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think they're all just the best improv artists ever.
That's very possible. That also is very possible. I, of course, am your host, Nathan Reetin Spruth. You can find me at Reetin everywhere. The main ones I want to point to are Twitter, at Reetin, and Twitch. I'm on Twitch Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time at twitch.tv/Reetin. And if you're, we also got this podcast everywhere. So, we're on Spotify and Amazon and all that jazz. Anywho, what games have you played this week?
So main thing has been WoW, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
I've been grinding away to get up to the new max level. I achieved that just yesterday.
Is that
did some?
What is that? 100?
It is 70 now.
70. Oh, wow. Okay.
In the last expansion, Shadowlands, they squished everything down by half, so 60 was the max level again. I thought that they were just going to make that the new standard, that they were just going to squish every expansion, but apparently that is not the case, because now, as I said, the max is 70. It only took me a week to do that, which, considering I only play it for like maybe a couple hours every night, I think that's a pretty good length of time.
And you don't work from home anymore, do you?
Not on the daily. No. On the weekends I do, but things aren't quite as easy around the office as of late. So
you want to give us some office drama on the Reetin Entertainment Podcast?
Oh, it's not drama. It's just that things are a little more busy because everyone's you probably know how it is, where it's the end of the year, everyone's going on vacation, or they're going to their holidays, so there are change freezes that come in, so everyone's trying to cram all their changes in right before the end of the season.
See, my boss is really good about our PTO, where throughout the year he's like, take time off because I don't want you all taking time off in November and December.
Well, yeah, and that the place I work is pretty good with that too. But I mean, it's just whenever you have this many people, like, at some point or another, and it's all the other departments too. And like with the nature of my work, if any one department makes a change, then it affects my job.
Oh, I see.
So
Yeah, we are moving offices. So we are moving from one city to another, one town to another town. Not really cities, but one town to another town, and that's really sucking because we're trying to get all that done where we're moving all of our stuff, and then we're also the last 3 months we've closed down three. Well, we didn't close down, but we upgraded three different clinics. So we have all of the computers from all three of those clinics back, and then new computers are put into those clinics. And now, like yesterday, my coworker and I had to go in and take out like 200 hard drives from all the computers. Because yeah, that was fun. Taking apart 200 computers just to pop out the hard drives. But I got overtime for it, so that's pretty good.
yeah.
Anyway, did you play
Anyway,
anything other than WoW?
yeah, I wanted to mention because I don't think we're really going to talk about it. Vampire Survivors, part of the thing with the Game Awards. One of the things they announced was that Vampire Survivors was coming to mobile, which was already going to be a thing. Everyone
Yeah,
knew it.
yeah.
I think they might have even announced it at some point, but hey, surprise, it's out. And it's free, which I did not expect. I actually, the funny thing on the Apple App Store on iOS, if you search Vampire Survivors, the top result, at least when I looked for it that night, was not the actual game.
What was it?
Um, it was some ripoff. There are like 1,000 ripoffs of Vampire Survivors on mobile because, like, obviously,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's a relatively simple game to put together in Unity, and then just kind of vomit onto the App Store with some in-app purchases. Uh, there are no in-app purchases, surprisingly enough, either. It
Oh
is it
well.
is a totally free game. You can watch an ad to revive when you die, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I
There
see.
might
I'm
be
looking.
another.
I'm looking at the game on Android. First off, on the Play Store, if you search for Vampire Survivors, it's the first result. Um, it has a 4.7 stars with 7K reviews, over 100,000 downloads already, and it looks like it says it contains ads. It says no
Yeah,
data shared with third parties, but it might take your location, personal info, into others. Data is encrypted, and you can request that the data be deleted.
yeah. The bit about asking for your location was a little weird to me.
Yeah.
But I haven't been prompted for that, so I'm assuming that is part of Unity's ad network. Because the game does run on Unity on mobile. It is not, thank fucking piss, it is not like a React native port or something.
Oh yeah.
Um, no, it is running in Unity, which means hopefully that will be making its way to PC soon. It runs relatively well. I haven't noticed any performance issues. Uh, I am not going to say that it is the best way to play the game
It
by a
is,
long shot.
but it is a way to play the game.
It is a way to play the game. The main thing that it needs is a suspend function. Um,
I see.
Obviously, with the way that it works on PC, you're meant to play in like 30-minute sessions. Uh, and like you can just alt tab or something if you need to stop for whatever reason. On the mobile app, if you switch to another app, there's sort of a just kind of the risk that you take that whenever you go back to the game, it'll just restart.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, there there is functionality in iOS to make that not happen. So I'm hoping that the developers will do that. So
But
whenever you close out the game and go back,
but
it restores where you are.
don't you play the game
Hmm?
on the Steam Deck as well?
Yeah,
Okay. And I assume the data doesn't carry over the
it does
between
not.
Steam
There
and the mobile.
is
Okay.
No, there is no cloud save. I believe that is something that they're going to work on because they actually just refactored the way that save data works a few versions ago.
Awesome.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do something like that. But yeah, otherwise it is a good port where it like the game otherwise plays exactly the same as it does on PC. I greatly appreciate that you can play it in portrait mode so that you can hold the phone in one hand and look like you're doing something important when you're just playing a game. Uh, I just wish that I could close it and it would save where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about me playing the games that I played this week, which were only 2 games. I played Monday through Thursday. I played Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is a good game. There's way more dialogue. I mentioned this last week. There's way more dialogue than I thought there would be, and a lot less like just going in and doing random missions, which I thought it would, because XCOM has some story, but it's not as in depth as the Marvel Midnight Suns, which makes sense because it's a Marvel game. They want to put that narrative in there, but I figured it would just be like, okay, choose a mission, a little bit of story, choose a mission, but there's a lot of random stories that are thrown in there, and it's pretty good. Except I still think it's weird that you create a Mary Sue character, and like everything, like it's not even hidden. Where like you go and talk to one of the characters, and they're like, you're really great, Mary. Like you're a fantastic person. Which is like exactly what they did with the Mary Sue character in that Star Trek fan fiction years upon years ago. Did you ever read that?
No,
I never read it, but I know
think
what
I know what you're
happens.
referring to.
Yeah, it was like
Well, because that's where Mary Sue came from, right?
that is, yeah. So somebody created a character that for like a Star Trek fan fiction that was like an ensign or something, but like in their fan fiction, this character, every like main character, Picard, Worf, all of them loved Mary Sue. And so at the end, I believe, I'm not spoiling anything, or I am spoiling something, but I don't care.
Nothing important.
Nothing important. At the end, Mary Sue dies, and they have like a big eulogy with that character, and that's where the whole Mary Sue thing comes from. It's just like a stand-in for somebody being like, "Oh my God, all the main characters love me," and that is exactly what this character in Marvel Midnight Suns is. It's really like that part is really bad, but the rest of the stuff, the gameplay and most of the story is pretty good. Anyway,
Another game that did that was Sonic Forces.
so how
Funnily
does
enough.
Sonic do that?
So do you know anything of Sonic Forces?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Sonic Frontiers. No,
No, Sonic Forces, where you get to make your custom character.
yeah, you're gonna make your own DeviantArt character for
Uh-huh.
Sonic. Yeah,
Yeah, and then they just are kind of thrown into the game, and like Sonic's your best friend now, and you guys get to go on adventures together and shit, and it's really goofy, but like it works there, right?
yeah,
Because like it's Sonic, so like who fucking cares? But yeah,
yeah,
that wouldn't be something that I would want out of a Marvel game, I don't think.
yeah. It's the same thing with the Marvel game where, uh, like you are this character, and I looked it up, and I do not think that this character has ever existed before.
They did not. I
Okay,
checked on that after you mentioned it in the last podcast, and no, that was they in some dev interviews. They were like, "We're really excited because we get to make our own character." So it's like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's probably why it's a self-insert character because they were like, "We could just do whatever we want." Oh,
Yeah, and so it's the same thing, but instead of with hanging out with Sonic or Jean-Luc Picard, you're hanging out with Iron Man and
oh, I'm gonna suck
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's dick. Oh, I'm gonna suck
Yeah,
Spider-Man's dick. Oh.
exactly. So, I also then on Friday, Connor, even though he was sick, he still had some time that we could play some Halo Infinite campaign, and that's okay. Like it's Halo. The shooting's good, and the killing grunts, popping them in the head is pretty good. It's weird that it's open world. I think I like it, but when you see those little markers come up on your map and you're like, okay, I could just either go do the main story mission, or I can go and click on this marker that I found. It's a little I get taken out of it because I'm used to the old Halos, which are just like missions 1 through 10 or whatever. But I'll probably play it some more with Connor because I do not want to beat that game in single player, and I want to do it co-op, like it's meant to be done. That's why they waited 2 years to release it in co-op. Anyway, let's move on. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. First thing, just to get it out of the way, we're going to talk a lot about the Game Awards, but first we're going to talk about Days Gone, which is, of course, a game that's very near and dear to my heart because I was in the credits. And one of the creative director of the game had some choice words to say about why it received such poor reviews. And by the way, it didn't even get that bad of reviews. It received a score of 71 on Metacritic and 72 on OpenCritic, which is good. Like that's objectively, it's a good game. It's all right. Like it's not the best game. It's not like a what you're gonna get out of Last of Us or something, but a 71 is still a pretty good game. But John Garvin said that woke reviewers couldn't handle a gruff white biker looking at his date's butt. and there's this. It's because it says here. He actually listed it, and I don't think he did delete the tweet, but of course it's the internet; it lives on forever. And he said the 3 reasons why he thinks it didn't do well. It says it had tech issues like bugs, streaming, and frame rate, which it did, especially on the PlayStation 4 base model. Now those have been patched out, and it runs great now. But when it released, it wasn't in a great state. 2, it had reviewers who couldn't be bothered to actually play the game, which I will agree that there are a lot of like kind of hacky reviewers who will play the game for 3 or 4 hours and then write a full review based on that instead of playing the game for longer and getting more of the narrative and upgrading your skills and stuff. So a game might start off slow, like let's say Final Fantasy 13, and get better partway through. But the Final Fantasy 13 doesn't get good until you're like 25 hours in, whereas Days Gone is only like a 25-hour game. And then the third point was it had woke reviewers who couldn't handle a gruff white biker looking at his date's ass. So apparently that's why it did poorly. I don't think that's it. I don't think anybody really cared about that. I think it was mainly the bugs. And did. If you look at I've looked at the comment section down below, and a lot of the comments are like, "Oh, it was a shitty game," and no, it was poor gameplay. And I'm like, the gameplay's good. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little biased. Have you played it at all?
I have not. I just know that whenever it released, I don't remember anybody really complaining about the story other than it just being kind of eh.
Yeah.
But like, I don't remember anybody being like, it's very misogynistic and generic main character. Blah, blah, blah. It was, most of the focus was on the fact that the game just didn't run all that well and it wasn't anything all that spectacular.
Yeah.
And that like the only real standout feature was there are definitely a lot of freakers.
Yes.
Freakers on the screen at once. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
It was, to be fair, the amount of character models that they got to go on to the PlayStation 4 was phenomenal. Just to have them, and the way that they would like crawl over fences and like under fences was really, really cool. But of course, Sony, Ben Studio came out and said, we are aware of comments made by our previous creative director on Days Gone regarding his personal view on critical receptions of our intellectual property. Ben Studio does not share this sentiment, nor does it reflect the views of our team. Our studio is immensely proud of the work we accomplished on Days Gone and are thankful to every developer who poured their heart and soul into it. We are incredibly humbled by the support of our Days Gone community, and we will continue to share your enthusiasm in our world and characters as we look towards the future. So, this isn't part of the NDA, and it's not. It's a little bit of insider information. I worked there for a year, and I worked with a couple of the lighting guys who I will not name, and one of the lighting guys I got to be good friends with, and we went to lunch because we'd go to lunch like every Friday, and he would be like, John doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I'll light a scene, like I'll color a scene and I'll make it look great. My manager will say that it's awesome. And then it'll go to John, and John will be like, oh, I want you to color it like this. And my friend would be like, no, like that doesn't fit with this scene. And John would be like, I don't care. They do it the way I want it to be done. And so I don't know. I like both. I like John and my friend there, but I think that maybe John might have been a little bit over his head being the creative director on this particular game. Because remember, the other games he had been that Ben Studio had worked on were like the Siphon Filter games and that Uncharted PSP game. This was like the first new IP that they had worked on in like 20 years. So I don't know. He might have been a little bit in over his head for the way that they were going to be doing the lighting and everything. I don't even think they had a Siphon Filter. They had PS2 dev kits there, but they didn't release a PS3 dev kits there, but they never released a PS3 game. It was like there was no PS3 Siphon Filter. They went from like making Siphon Filter for the PS2 and PSP to making the Uncharted game on the PS Vita. And then they went straight into Days Gone, which NDA, but I don't care. Whatever. It's been 6 years. They were originally going to make
expired by now.
No, I don't. They never expire. By the way,
that's not true.
But yeah. So I don't think I'm going to get sued for it. But they were originally supposed to designing it for the Vita. Days Gone was originally going to be on the Vita. And they had actually a working prototype of the Freaker system on the Vita. It was only running at like 20 frames a second, but it was still pretty impressive. Anyway.
It's okay. There were plenty of games on the Vita that only ran at 20 FPS.
I know. GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. Like, yeah. If you're looking at the ground, runs at like 20 frames a second. If you're playing it normally, it averages to about 15 frames a second. And if you're playing it with 4 people in split screen mode, it runs at like 8 frames a second. And we still manage to have fun with that. I don't know how. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the Game Awards. There are they gave a lot of awards out, but we've got to just go through this. That way people don't have to sit through, like, what was it, 3 hours or is it 2 hours?
It was way too long, I'll tell you that. And
way too long.
Like, honestly, I don't think anyone even gave a shit.
Probably not.
About, like, there were maybe a handful of awards that anyone actually cared about, including the Game Awards, by the way, because, like, there are a number of these where it was just like they were in between announcements and we're like, and best content creator is Ludwig, and best community support, it's Final Fantasy, whatever, no, best action game.
Yeah, but we're gonna be talking about that. So Player's Voice Award, I don't know what that is. I assume it's people rating it, them like people like phoning in.
Yeah, that's the popular vote.
Yeah, Popular vote was it was for between Sonic Frontiers, Genshin Impact, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and Stray, and the winner was Genshin Impact. Which,
And I'm not surprised.
yeah. Well, okay. Before we move on, I just want to rant a little bit. I don't like it that they don't do the Game Awards after the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like, because there's still, like, a bunch of games that are going to release this month. Like, High on Life releases, like, next week.
Well, I do think usually with that sort of thing, though, they will include games that came out in the last like month
Yeah.
as potential
For, like,
candidates.
next year. For
Yeah.
I think that they should do, like, maybe at the beginning of January, like, January 5th, do the 2022 Game Awards. But that's just, just a nitpick. Best esports event went to 2022 League of Legends Worlds. I'm not naming them all. I'm not naming them all. I don't care. Sure.
I've never even heard of any of these.
Yeah.
Besides Evo.
I know what Evo is. Yeah, we all know.
Everyone knows what Evo is.
Evo is the fighting game tournament.
Yeah.
We've got best esports coach went to Matthias BZKA Terrascani.
That one guy's name is Dongbin.
Go Dongbin did not win, unfortunately. Okay. And then we've got best esports team. What's between Dark Zero Esports, FaZe Clan, Gen G, LA Thieves, and Loud. And the winner was Loud.
I only recognize FaZe Clan and Loud.
I only recognize FaZe Clan, and I don't know why. I've heard their name before, and that's it. Best esports athlete.
I recognize none of these.
Can we just call him like I know they want to treat it like a real sport, but can we just call him a gamer or something? Like, not an athlete?
No, they're athletes because they train.
We've got Jacob Yay Whitaker. Whitaker?
Whitaker, probably.
That's not how it's spelled.
I know. I'm not shitting on you. I'm just saying it's probably pronounced Whitaker.
It probably is. And he was the best esports athlete. Best esports game went to Valorant, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. I've never played it. I played all of these except for Valorant. And I guess Valorant's good. So good for them. Best sports/racing game. We have the choices are F1 2022, FIFA 23, NBA 2K23, Gran Turismo 7, and Ollie World.
Interesting inclusion.
What is Ollie World?
It's like a skateboarding thing, but it's like a very arcadey skateboarding game.
That's what I thought by the name being, Ollie, but
I think Sega publishes it.
Oh, okay. Well, the winner of this category was Gran Turismo 7. Again, we're just flying through this. All right. Best sim/strategy game. We've got Dune: Spice Wars, Mario plus Rabbids: Sparks of Hope, Total War Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, and Victoria 3. This went to Mario plus Rabbids: Sparks of Hope.
So it went to XCOM.
It went to XCOM, and I'm trying to think. The only other one that I would think that would win, if it wasn't Mario and Rabbids, would probably be 2 Point Campus.
Really?
I mean, just for how popular it is compared to the other ones.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying in regard to like how this actually works, because as we know, the Game Awards are not based on actual quality. It's a popularity contest.
It is. And Mario and Rabbids makes sense that it would win in the Game Awards because it's the most accessible strategy game, and I'm sure it did very well. I know that our good friend of the podcast, Air Fox, was playing it, and it looked fine. You know, it looks like XCOM. So I think that
I've heard a
that
number of
makes
good
sense.
things about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dune Spice Wars sucks. It is awful. But
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Best family game. The choices were Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Mario plus Rabbids: Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3. And the winner was Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which you played that.
I did, actually.
Do you agree that it was the best family game released this year?
It's hard for me to say.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You're choppy. You're getting
Hold on.
You're
Give me a
getting
second.
staticky.
Hold on. I know what it is.
Is it the cat? Did the cat hit something?
No, it's my Android emulator. There, that it should be fine now.
Your Android emulator messes with your audio?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Anyways, Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
It's hard for me to say compared to like Lego Skywalker Saga. I don't know. I feel like Lego Star Wars is a better quote unquote family game, but it's also like the third time they've released those same games, just on a different platform, right?
Yeah. I would think. I would probably agree that Kirby and the Forgotten Land would probably win this. If not, then it would be Lego Star Wars. But I mean, they just keep pumping that out. It just came on Game Pass. I can actually play it now. Anyway, best adaptation. Is this like for a movie?
Movie or TV show.
Or TV show. So we've got Arcane League of Legends, which I have not watched. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I haven't watched any of these. The Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Uncharted. The winner being Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I'm sorry that they did not pick Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm okay with that because I don't think that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a great quote unquote adaptation.
What? That's the actual live action movie.
Correct.
Okay.
So I don't think that it's I think it is a wonderful like tie-in to the rest of the franchise. I guess, like, I don't know, adaptation to me, that implies the idea that it is somehow a redo or adapting the plot of the normal thing into another format, and that's not what the Sonic movies are.
No.
They're just they're like tangentially connected to the games via the characters and some concepts therein.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really see Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or even like Uncharted. Well, maybe more Uncharted, but actually being like
yeah, but didn't that movie suck?
I saw it and it was okay, I guess. It was a fine action movie. Yeah, I mean, it had Spider-Man.
Which I guess is the other thing too. Like Sonic 2, if you're not a Sonic fan, can't say it would probably be more than like a 6 out of 10.
Probably not. Well, let's move on. We're going to talk about most anticipated game, which we've got the contestants in this are Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, which I think that game's already released before a few times. I might be wrong. Starfield, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, or is it Tears? I assume it's Tears. Okay.
It is Tears.
Okay. The only thing I could think of is if there was like a tear in like space-time. Tears of the Kingdom.
There is.
Oh, okay. So it could be either way. Anyway.
It's not, though.
I know. And the winner was Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, which, yeah, it's if it's that's the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Oh, I could totally get that. That's gonna be great. I do want to take this moment to say that Final Fantasy 16 looks awful. We're gonna talk about.
You think so?
we're gonna talk about the trailers that we want to talk
Was
about.
was there gameplay in that trailer?
Yeah, yeah, there
Oh,
was, and it
I
looks
didn't think there was.
it's Devil May Final Fantasy, and
Bro,
I don't
I might play that.
see, and I think it looks terrible. Absolutely awful. The graphics, of course, are beautiful. It's a Square Enix, AAA game. It's gonna look great, but the gameplay does not look fun. And of course, I think out of all of these games, I'm probably most excited for Starfield, but I could see that Breath of the Wild 2 being, the
I
winner in this
have
category.
I have almost zero confidence in Starfield being a good game. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah. Uh,
whereas Tears of the Kingdom will probably be game of the year. So,
Probably. Best fighting game. The contestants are DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures All Star Battle R, The King of Fighters 15, Multiverses, and Sifu. And the winner was Multiverses, which I've seen Sifu, and I think Sifu should have won this category.
no.
Okay. Have you played?
Sifu's barely a fighting game. It's more of, or like, I don't know. Whenever I think of a fighting game, it's something where
You,
there's multiplayer.
yeah,
You
that
know?
makes sense. Instead of just a one-on-one, like, or a fighting, like a single-player fighting game.
Yeah, and it's like I would put it as more of like a brawler or something, or like just a generic action game. Not to say Sifu's generic in any way, but like, yeah, I wouldn't have put it in fighting. It seems like they just ran out of things to put in this category.
Yeah.
Uh,
The next section pisses me off. It pisses me off so much. The best RPG section. This shows you the popularity contest part of it. We've
yeah,
got Elden Ring. Is it Live Alive or Live Alive? I
I
never
think it's
know how
Live
to
Alive.
Live Alive. Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and the winner is Elden Ring for best RPG.
It's an action RPG.
I guess it's a Souls game. That's all it is.
Souls
I
games are action RPGs.
I hate Souls games. I hate them so much. Like I
Sounds like a
played
skill issue to me.
I played through. I actually beat 1 and 2 with some help. I will admit I got help from friends, but I beat 1 and 2, and I was playing through 3 with a friend, and I was just like, I just came to the realization while we were playing, and I was like, I hate these games. Like I never have fun playing these games. Like I don't like other people can have fun with it, but I still don't think that it should be best RPG section over Pokemon. Come on. Or
Maybe
Xenoblade.
over. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe over Pokemon Legends Arceus, but
Yeah.
like
Or
no, they,
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Triangle Strategy. Those are much better. RPG
Live Alive
games.
is like one of the most legendary RPGs of all time.
Exactly. But anyway, we're gonna move on. Best action adventure game. We've got The Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. And the winner of that should have been Stray, but it was God of War Ragnarok.
Why was Tunic even in here? Like,
Because it's a popularity contest. It was a very popular game for a week and a half.
so was Stray, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. God of War Ragnarok, I can see that. I have not played that game yet, but I've played the first God of War redo that they've done for the PS4, and that was really good. So if Ragnarok's half as good as that one, I can see it being better than Tunic, because Tunic was awful. Anyway, best action game. Oh, you're gonna like this. We've got Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and TMNT Shredder's Revenge, and the winner was Bayonetta 3. Which, you like Bayonetta. Did you play Bayonetta 3?
I did not.
Are you planning
no,
on it?
No, not really.
Why not? Why aren't you planning on playing through that game? I know you love 1 and 2.
Because it's on Switch.
Is that it?
Pretty much. Like I
But
don't I don't like the Switch's controller. Like especially not for a game like that. And
I see.
I don't want to have to do that. Uh Also, for some reason, the award was accepted by uh wasn't it accepted by the CEO of Nintendo of America?
I have no idea.
I think it was
It,
accepted by Doug Bowser, which
I
I
love
thought
that
was
his
really weird.
I love that his last name is Bowser, and he's the
But
CEO of Nintendo.
yeah, they made a joke about it whenever he got brought on, which he looks like shit now.
Oh,
Like it's no fun. Like you compare Reggie whenever he started to whenever he quit being CEO, and it's like I thought there it was a sign of like how stressful that job is. But compare Doug Bowser to whenever he started to now, and it looks like he's aged 50 years.
it's like when you look at like the presidents, right? Like
Yeah,
and after 8 years of being president, you can see that they've aged like 8 years.
yeah. But
Um,
like how Obama, like it's been like 10 years or so.
yeah.
Well, not even 10 years, but like he looks like a ragged old man now.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna talk about content creator of the year. There's Carl Jacobs, Ludwig, Nibelian, Nobrew, and QT Cinderella. I have been not given my due time. I am not even a contestant here, which is just rude. And the winner was Ludwig. I have no idea who these people are.
So, funny thing here is that Ludwig and Cutie are actually dating.
Oh, good for
They've been
them.
dating for quite some time. Both of them are pretty funny. I love Ludwig, actually.
Oh,
The
good.
other three, I don't know who the fuck they are. I just looked up Carl Jacobs because I thought he was a YouTuber that I like. He is not.
No,
He's a fucking
you're thinking Carl Jobst.
probably.
He's the speedrun guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yep,
thinking
that's it
Carl
then.
Jobst. Because we
Yeah,
watch
no,
the
Carl.
same things on YouTube.
Yeah, we do. Uh, Carl Jacobs is a Minecraft YouTuber who like did some shit with Dream, and it's like I looked at his channel and I immediately gagged. So
Interesting. We're gonna go on best VR/AR experience or game after the fall. Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2. And the winner was Moss Book 2. I have no
why?
idea. What is Moss Book? I know it's a AR/VR game, but what?
Do you remember Moss at
No,
all?
no, not even a little bit.
So Moss, it was one of those VR games that, in my personal opinion, I don't understand why it's a VR game where it is more or less a 3D ish, almost like a side scrolling 2.5D platformer,
Okay.
puzzle platformer. But since it's in VR, like you're the camera, but like the thing you're controlling is in is outside of you. So I just like, why is this in VR? I don't get it. It didn't seem to do anything, at least from the trailers and stuff that I saw. It didn't seem to do anything with the fact that it was VR. It's just it's VR. Look, you can like look around. You can look really close at the cute little mouse character. Like,
Interesting.
I don't get it.
I would think because I've seen Bone Lab.
Bone Lab looks amazing.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I would think Bone Lab would probably be the number one. But
I
I
I
guess.
bet I bet the reason for this is because Moss was basically like VR Stray,
Oh,
you
that
know,
would make
where
sense.
like overall it's not that great of a like it's not that special of a game, but it has a cute cat as the main character, and like
Hmm,
Moss is the same thing. It just has a cute little mouse thing as as its main character.
that could be it. But we're gonna move on and best debut indie game: Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. The winner here was Stray.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Game Awards.
I think Vampire Survivors should have won that.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors absolutely hands down should have won.
Yeah,
Uh,
like Stray. Don't get me wrong, Stray looks fun. I'll probably play it someday. Like you get to trip humans, it's great. Like you can walk in front of or not humans, but you can walk in
I was
front of
going to say
robots
there
and
are
have
no
them fall.
humans in that game.
Yeah, you walk in front of the robots and have them fall over. It's hilarious. You'll go on like ledges and there'll be cups and stuff, and you can knock them off. It's adorable. But Vampire Survivors came out of nowhere and became a massive success, like selling millions of copies. I think that Vampire Survivors should have won that. Anyway, best community support. We've got Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. So the winner was Final Fantasy 14. And I will admit that their community support is really good. I would say I agree with this. I was going to say maybe No Man's Sky, but yeah, I think Final Fantasy 14 probably comes out on top because they've come out. This year was a huge year for them, and to the point where their servers were like overloaded, and they were having to like queue people up to get logged in and stuff. And they came out and their community support was really, really good for addressing like why they couldn't just flip a switch and up that make that queue time go down. And I think that their transparency with what's happening behind the scenes helped them out a lot. What are your thoughts on it?
I would tend to agree overall. Like, I would say that like in the case of Destiny 2 and Fortnite, they are it seems obvious that like at the end of the day they're more focused on making money off of their community than anything else.
Yeah.
Particularly Fortnite, obviously. And No Man's Sky at this point, like it's almost like do you just give the award to whoever releases the most updates to their game this year? Like it wasn't like No Man's Sky was taking community feedback and changing the game based on that at this point. Now it's just they have a business model that seems to work for them, which is just getting more people to buy the game and releasing it on more platforms.
Yeah.
Uh, and they just kind of make content that they think is cool. Final Fantasy 14 actively responds to its player base. I don't know anything about what Apex Legends is doing.
I don't know anything about Apex Legends, Destiny 2, or Fortnite. I know that Fortnite did just come out with the Unreal Engine 5 implementation of Fortnite.
Fortnite, just in general, is kind of in the same spot as No Man's Sky, where they just keep like changing fundamental aspects of the game in really cool ways. It's just that none of that really involves the community in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
At least not from what I can tell.
All right. Best mobile game, Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy. And the winner was Marvel Snap. That is a card game, and we'll move on. I don't care. It's all those. None of them are Vampire Survivors, so we're moving on. Best independent game. Again, I have to disagree with this. We've got Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic, and Stray won.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Game Awards.
Yeah, Cult of the Lamb definitely should have won that.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
It should have either been that or actually just any of them other than Stray. Like,
yeah.
Not to shit on Stray, but it's just like that's not much of a game compared to any of the others.
Yeah. We've got Games for Impact. I assume these are games that have like some sort of overarching message. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is always a throwaway category.
Yeah. A Memoir Blue, Ask Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling, Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, I Was a Teenage Eco-Colonist?
Exocolonist.
And the winner was As Dusk Falls. And I played that game. And it was the weird narrative game that had like
That's
little pictures. Like it was like kind of 3D, so like some stuff would move in the background, but like your character image was still, and it would like shift between their react. It was weird.
it's like a motion comic.
Yeah, it was like a motion comic. And it was all right. I think I killed somebody. So that shows you how much I remember about the game. And I made it so that the guy was very lonely at the end of the game. Cuz he made his girlfriend not go to Canada with him. Anyway,
Wow.
I'm ruining the game. Ruining it for everyone. Best narrative.
No, I just meant wow, what an impactful story.
Yeah. Best narrative. A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. And the winner is God of War Ragnarok. Man, I wish I would have played this game.
Yeah, I just somehow doubt it. I just somehow doubt that. Because, for one, Immortality's narrative is fucking incredible.
Is it?
Yeah. It's from the Her Story guy.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But also, like, Elden Ring is a Souls-like game and therefore has an insane narrative.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we got Elden Ring, I guess, has a good narrative. It was made by what's his name? George R.R. Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I could see that being, somebody that they lean into for a good narrative, which it's weird that he didn't. It's weird that they won the RPG category, but not the narrative category. But innovation in accessibility, we've got Ask Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, The Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry. And the winner is God of War Ragnarok. I have no idea why, but I guess it's very accessible. Did they have a lot of accessibility features in Ragnarok?
I know absolutely nothing.
Okay. Best audio.
Maybe their innovation is that the characters just nag you constantly.
Yeah. I heard one complaint I heard about that game was that the sun doesn't shut the heck up.
No one shuts up.
Oh, okay.
Everyone, like, you go into a puzzle and the game just immediately tells you how to solve the puzzle.
Well, that's helpful. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the accessibility.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
it's that the game just immediately tells you how to win the game.
We've got Best Audio Design, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West. And the Best Audio Design goes to God of War Ragnarok. Jeebus. It's just winning everything.
I, again, somehow doubt that, considering Gran Turismo 7 is a Gran Turismo game.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, like, legendary, with their audio, but whatever.
With audio.
Let's give all the rewards to fucking God of War Ragnarok, because it's the God of War game this year.
No, not all of them. We're going to move on. Best score.
Not all of them.
Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And of course, Metal Hellsinger did not win because God of War Ragnarok won.
I mean, Metal Hellsinger shouldn't have won best score.
Probably
by
not.
any stretch of the imagination. That said, pretty sure Elden Ring should have won. I'm just gonna fucking say I'm pretty sure Elden Ring should have won best score, but that's okay.
That's all right. Best art direction, we've got Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. Elden Ring won. It got best art direction.
Scorn should have been like Scorn and Stray both good contenders in this category.
I would say, because for me, I look at Elden Ring and I see just like any of the other Dark Souls games. Now, it is open and brighter, but I think that Scorn and Stray have a much more unique art direction than something like Elden Ring.
I think Elden Ring executes well. It's you're right. It is another FromSoft game. It just looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that necessarily means that it doesn't look impressive.
All right,
but
We're almost done here. We've got a few more categories
Thank
left.
fuck.
Best ongoing game. We got Apex Legends, Destiny 2, The Witch King. Or I'm sorry, The Witch Queen. Final Fantasy 14, Endwalker, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. Best ongoing game goes to Final Fantasy 14. That makes sense. Best multiplayer. I'm just gonna skip because it doesn't matter. Best multiplayer is Splatoon 3. I guess.
Okay.
Okay. Best performance. This is for like actor. So we've got
Acting.
Ashley Birch from Horizon Forbidden
Thank
West.
fuck she didn't win.
Charlotte
Ugh.
McBurney from A Plague Tale Requiem. Christopher Judge from God of War Ragnarok. Manon Gage from Immortality. And Sonny Sulijic from God of War Ragnarok. We got 2 from God of War Ragnarok. And Christopher Judge from God of War Ragnarok 1. Why did you not want Ashley Birch to win?
I don't like her. I don't think that she's a good actress. I don't.
Okay. And then we got 2 more categories left. We got Best Game Direction, which could go to Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, or Stray. Man, we're hearing the same games listed a lot tonight. And the winner went to Elden Ring.
I don't even know what the fuck that category means.
I don't know either, because like Best Art Direction I totally get, but Best Game Direction, like
Who was the best director of game? What?
I guess.
Okay.
And then Game of the Year, we've got A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And the winner was Elden Ring. So
Not a big surprise.
Apparently everybody likes Elden Ring except for me.
I want to know, like, who paid to put A Plague Tale Requiem in all of these categories, because I don't know of anyone, like game outlet or otherwise, who even commented on the fact Plague Tale Requiem released.
Or
alone
Xenoblade Chronicles 3, while it is, I would say, probably one of the best RPGs of the year. I don't think that
no one was going to vote for that for Game of the Year.
Nobody's voting for that for Game of the Year. It's either going to be
Stray.
Yeah, it's either going to be God of War Ragnarok or Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And
there are like 5 people who would have voted for Horizon Forbidden West because all they play are like just everything that Sony releases first party.
Yeah. But God of War Ragnarok I think should have got Game of the Year, but that's me. I don't know.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I think God of War Ragnarok is probably a better and more enjoyable time than Elden Ring.
Maybe if you're a plebeian.
Yeah, exactly. If I don't hate
plebeian,
I don't hate myself, so I don't like Souls games.
Fucking plebeian.
Okay, and they also
fucking.
We're moving on, Aroa.
Plebeian.
They also throughout, so they'll like have a category, and then they'll be like, and here's 7 trailers, and then they'll do another category, and we're not gonna talk about all of the trailers. We've done that in the past, and it usually just boils down to like, oh, this game sucks. So I've chosen a few things.
We just spent like almost 45 minutes going through something that somebody could have watched on YouTube in 5.
We just did that. We did do that, yes. But we are gonna go and we're gonna talk about a couple of the trailers. I have 4 that I want to talk about. I don't know if you have any you want to talk about. So the first thing first is they're coming out with the new Hades, which looks fantastic. Hades 2. And I don't know if they have a release date on that, but they do have it announced that Hades 2 will be made, and I am incredibly excited for it. They did show some gameplay. It looks very similar, but it also looks like you're playing you're not playing Zagreus, you're playing somebody else.
You're playing some
2.
chick.
Yeah. But I am going to play that game so much. I remember when that game came out, and my friend Roguish Bard recommended that to me, and I was like, I'll give it a try. And I was like, man, I love this game. It is fantastic. They also have a trailer for Armored Core. They're From Software is making a new Armored Core game, and I looked I looked at some of the comments and they're like, please don't be a Souls-like.
No, I don't think they would. It's
I
probably they have some team internally that's like bored of making Souls-like games.
and they're like, fine, we'll let you make an Armored Core game. Goodness. But they had zero gameplay, so it's just a like a CG trailer.
It's probably just in the concept phases right now.
Oh yeah, probably. So it'll probably be a few years before that actually releases. And they also had this one actually did have some gameplay called Judas. Did you watch the trailer for Judas?
I did not.
It is exactly
BioShock?
BioShock. Not
Mm.
even hiding it a little bit. Like all of the artwork, it looks like you're in Rapture.
Oh, oh man. Oh, it's so smooth.
It looks so
Oh,
good.
oh, wow. There's like pure feel good chemicals coming out of my brain right now just looking at how smooth the animation is.
Oh, it does. It says here, according to Jeff,
Holy shit.
everything that we saw in the trailer was in engine.
Oh yeah, you can tell.
Yeah,
Like this was yeah. Oh, this looks amazing.
yeah. So I'll probably get that. It does. I would be surprised if it's not just in the BioShock universe, but it probably
Well,
legally can't be
no, it can't be.
unless they've somehow secured the rights to use that universe. They like licensed it from
No.
who owns it? Take-Two, 2K,
Yeah, which
something like
means that
that.
there's no way they're licensing that.
No. And the other game I wanted to talk about was Crime Boss City.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 'Cause
Did
if you didn't mention that, I was going to.
it's according to this, it looks like it's a heist game, so it may be similar to like Payday or Payday 2.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of big name actors in it. So I don't have them in front of me. Give me just a second here. Crime. Come on. Why are you not working? Crime. There we go. Crime Boss City. It has I know it has Vanilla Ice, which is a big one. Got Kim Basinger, Michael Madsen, Danny Glover, Michael Rooker, and Vanilla Ice. Oh, it also has Chuck Norris.
Okay.
It's
Why not?
it's silly, very silly, and yeah. I mean, it looks like it's gonna be a fun time. Are you interested in this game?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I am so down for another Payday sort of game. So,
I wish Payday would just release Payday 2. I don't even know if it's still. I mean, they say it's still being
3.
made. Yeah, Payday 3. Yeah, but they say it's being made. Oh, Jenny, they don't mention Danny Trejo's going to be in it as well.
Of course.
Yeah, he's in everything. Yeah, it looks. I perked up a little bit watching the trailer, and they're like, and Vanilla Ice. That's who I want to do runs with. You know, trying to steal from jewelry stores. Vanilla Ice.
It's cool though because that indicates like the sort of feel that they're going for,
Mm-hmm.
and it means they're not going to take it too seriously, which means that they're probably going to be willing, assuming that the game is successful, like I hope it is. They're going to be willing to do crazy shit later on down the line. And I
Yeah.
always like that in games.
Yeah, so some further info found that on the Epic Games Store reveals that it's a heist FPS. So those familiar with Payday might want to keep an eye on it. You won't need to wait long to start heisting as it launches March 28th, 2023. So that's good, right?
Who's publishing it? Does
We might be able to go to Epic and look it up.
it's on Epic Games.
That's what it says. It says some further info found on the Epic Game Store. I don't know if
Dang.
it's going to be exclusive to Epic, but judging from a lot of the games that have released recently that say Epic Games, it might be exclusive to Epic for a month or 12 a while. I'm loading up Epic Games right now.
It's
And
from 505 Games.
Crime Boss Roxay City. I'm sorry.
Rocky City.
Rockay City. 505 Games. I don't know who, and the developer is In-Game Studios. So I don't know. And of course,
probably.
Here's another thing. If you look at Epic Games, the pre-purchase price is $31.99, and the full retail price is $40.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that's good. It's not going to be a $60 or $70 game. So that's pretty great. Okay. And did you have anything else you wanted to talk about? Any other trailers you wanted to talk about?
Did the Transformers one throw you off? Because it threw me off.
It didn't throw. Well, remember, I did not watch it live.
Oh yeah.
So I just saw it.
Watching it live, I was like, "What the fuck is this? Is this some kind of like new franchise?" And then, like in the part where the fucking robot hand comes off from the side, and I'm like, why does that look like fucking Bumblebee from Transformers? And then it's like, Transformers reactivate, and I'm like, what? Because it's like I'm not huge into Transformers, but I like the idea of it being like a more. Will you stop? Will you stop, cat? Hold on. Come here. There you go. Anyway, I like the idea of a Transformers thing that's like it's aliens and it's like a hardcore shooter thing. That sounds really neat.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know exactly what it has because again, it's not a real trailer. It's not a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, it's not, but it is like it's a very interesting concept just on the surface. So I'm hoping that it's going to be cool.
Yeah, let's hope. But we are going to move on to our last story, which I think you want to talk about.
Done.
You're not done.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
Okay, fine.
Atomic Heart got a new trailer.
I saw that.
It still looks really fucking good.
Good.
Like, I'm so goddamn hyped for that game.
Is that the one where you're on a spaceship?
No, it's like Soviet BioShock.
Oh, okay.
Like,
more BioShock. Got it.
Yeah, it's so it's like, yeah, like it's you're in like Stalker World, like alternate history sort of thing. Maybe no, because Soviet Fallout's not accurate because it's like there's a lot of sci-fi tech going on. Like it just looks really fucking cool. And I like Soviet era alternate history shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, looks great.
Good.
Did Banisher's Ghost of New Eden? Did you see that?
I did. I've watched all the trailers.
Okay,
I've watched all of them.
You remember anything? You remember what that was?
Not even a little bit. No.
There's I don't think there's any gameplay because why would there be? But like there may be like 2 seconds of gameplay, but it's
that's the one made by Life is Strange creators.
Yeah. So I'm really curious to see what they do there. Just because they're a studio that hasn't made anything that's, like a game before.
Yeah.
So like I'm kind of curious to see what they do there.
They're stepping into a brand new frontier, actually making video games.
Yeah. And it was cool to see more about Nightingale because I'm actually kind of excited about Nightingale.
Okay.
And they showed off some gameplay. I didn't know that it was first person.
Oh.
And it looks like there's going to be a lot of really crazy shit that you get to do in like a survival game. And there's like giants and like giant vampire things, bat things, and like plants, giant tree monster. Like it looks really unique and cool. And I guess I'm I'm just a sucker for like anything that has a different art style from like other games. Like something that actually looks inspired for once instead of just it's cyberpunk or it's post-apocalypse
Mm-hmm.
or it's Minecraft.
Does it have a release date?
I don't think so, other than sometime in 2023. Looks like it's
Yeah.
early 2023.
So speaking of which, for the last thing for the trailers I want to talk about is that it looks like Final Fantasy 16 launches June 22nd, 2023 for the PS5.
Ah,
And it says there was a little box that said it can't come to other platforms until December 31st, 2023.
interesting.
So
That's
it's got a 6-month exclusive deal with Sony for the PlayStation
huh. That
which
sucks.
I was like, wait a minute, like they haven't done that in a long time, 20 years. But anyway, our last
Uh,
story, unless you had
okay.
another one you wanted to talk about.
I do. I want to mention Meet Your Maker because that reminds me of a game that I was really interested in that flopped really hard. It was this Ubisoft game called the like it's something Epic Loot, whatever the hell it's called.
The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot.
That was it. That was
That's
it.
exactly what I thought when I saw that game.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for something like that. Like I want that to go well,
So with
but
this,
we'll
just
see.
so you know, with this trailer, if you haven't watched it yet, basically, I don't know, your friends will or other people will like set up their base, and you're trying to infiltrate their base
Yeah.
and steal their stuff. And
Yes.
I think what has to be done, at least what happened with Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, is that you had to be able to beat the base. Like you had to,
Hmm.
kind of like with Mario Maker, you have to be able to beat the level before somebody else can play it, because it has to at least say that you can
It has
actually
to be
beat the level.
possible.
Yeah, you can't just make an impossible level and then push it. So
But it's like
it looks
it
neat.
looks like it's going to be like a super like high speed boomer shooter take on that
Hmm.
genre, and that seems like it's going to be really fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm hesitantly excited for it, and I don't think that
Yeah.
has a release date either.
No, it's like most of the other things. It's sometime in 2023, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, last story, final story about Bill Clinton. Tell me about Bill Clinton, Aroa.
So so at the end of the Game Awards, whenever fucking From Software was up on stage accepting their award for Game of the Year, this kid snuck up on stage alongside them, pretending to be part of the entourage, and then waited until they were done, and then walked up to the microphone and said, I would like to nominate this award to my good friend, Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton.
Like,
Uh,
did he say it with that voice?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
And I know that Connor has been hopped up on NyQuil, and he said that he left the Game Awards on, and then woke up and saw somebody talking about Bill Clinton, and then fell back asleep and thought he had a fever dream. But in reality, somebody just hide. I like that he was able, like, because he is dressed kind of like he would
Yeah.
fit in with them. And so, did he just stand there for like the whole thing, and then once they were done
Yes.
accepting, like they didn't say
Yeah.
anything?
No, they didn't. They had no. They seemed to have no idea, and then he just kind of walked up because he just had this air of like, ah, yes, he's supposed to be part of this group.
Yeah, like
Uh,
he looks like he would fit in, like just standing there, right, being like, yeah, like nodding his head, not
yeah, then
not
he
just
comes up and he does this stupid voice and like, yeah. But apparently, this kid has actually done this sort of thing in the past.
mm,
Um, there was a there's a moment in 2019 where the he was sitting there like waiting for the camera to end up on him at an NBA game, uh, and the camera gets on him, and it looks like he's just wearing a shirt with like the sports team. But then
Oh.
he immediately holds up a different T-shirt that says "Fight for Freedom, Stand with Hong Kong."
I love that. I absolutely love when people do stuff like that, or like at wrestling events, when people hold up really bad signs and like you can tell the camera has like cut away from that like section of the crowd. It's fantastic. Um,
Uh,
how old is this
and
kid? Do you know?
let me see if
They
this article says,
they did say that he got arrested.
which was a
Um,
lie.
which I don't know if
He
that
did
was.
not.
I think they.
That was Jeff Keighley saying that.
Yeah, he said that they got arrested. He probably was misinformed.
Yeah, the cops probably just took him to be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, basically, like they probably took him to the side and it's like, "Come on, man! Like, you need to not do this. We'll file a report, but this isn't going anywhere. Like, they're not gonna sue or anything." So, yeah, because he looks young.
No one actually knows for sure who this kid is.
Oh, okay. So,
Kotaku believes that it is a kid named Matan Even, but no one's totally sure. He's just shown up in various places. He did the same thing as with the sports thing at the NBA, but at BlizzCon 2019,
I am
where
I'm reading some of the tweets.
he apparently ran up at the QA panel for World of Warcraft and just yelled "Free Hong Kong."
Oh, well, that's good. I'm surprised he didn't say something about that during his Elden Ring acceptance speech. But reading one of the tweets, it says, "I can't believe Miyazaki got invaded during his acceptance speech." Which I think it's good because it's Elden Ring and you get invaded and then you die because the other people are better than you.
Yeah,
Or that's what happens to me.
Some people were saying that they got invaded on stage. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
But yeah, so that was the end of the Game Awards. Was some kid coming up and crashing Elden Ring's party. I want to thank you for being here, Aroa.
I was here. Here I was.
And I will. I want to thank myself for being here because I was here as well. And we will be back next week talking about more video games and technology news. Hopefully not so many Game Awards, but we'll see. Thank you for being here. See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.